All righty. Good morning, everybody. Happy summer break. Beautiful outside, but it's going to get hot, so we'll go right into it. We are going to give you a packet of, one is a proposal, the remainder are counter proposals. We will also come back to you later this morning with a package on 22 and 23, which is the insurance and the compensation, okay? Quite common, right, in this work, so we'll come back to you with that. But we wanted to get some of the language ones in front of you today. So while Marissa's passing those out, today was the last day for the district to open any articles.
Yes, yeah.
And aside from the ones that we've already opened and started talking about, the only other additional one the district's going to open is Article 8, and that's the first one, and we'll go ahead and review that with you, and then we'll get into our counters. Okay. All right. Okay, so Article 8, personal and academic freedom. Our change here is that we believe that in the current language, the process of going straight from the local administrator all the way up to the board, we believe it doesn't foster what would be, good working relationships between the administration and the educator. Like many of our protocols, there's usually a step in between that's for the district, right? So what we're proposing is that after the step 2 piece, then that may be appealed to the director of teaching and learning or the designee, or whoever, that would be whoever Kim would designate to do that. And then we put back in after that a step 4 where either party may appeal the director of teaching and learning or designee's decision to the school board. And then we basically add the remainder language that used to be, which retains the final decision-making authority for all grades, and the board's decision shall not be subject to the grievance procedure. So really 8 is just adding the administrative step in. Any questions?
No?
Okay.
First time we got to see it in action this year here, so.
Okay, next one, we have a counter on teacher or educator evaluation. So many of the items in here we actually agree with you on. We do have some cleanup, and there is one substantive change to it, which is really actually one word, okay? And that is in F1, so top of the second page. This is referring to the Program of Assistance for Improvement plan, and a lot of the language you had recommended was really about really tidying it up to making sure that people have appropriate notice and the opportunity to engage with their administrators. But we wanted to be very clear that where we're talking about a warning, your language had something to the effect that this warning will be clearly identified as the precursor step to PAI. Our language is to have the language say the warning will be clearly identified as a precursor step to the PAI, because the district maintains that while this is one and this really is the preferred process for working on improvement, it's not the only one that we have. We also want to reiterate that the district still has other opportunities which may result in a warning, such as there's progressive discipline, right? And there are some cases too where a behavior could be maybe it's not directly conduct, but it's enough of an academic issue or a performance issue where there may need to be the possibility, though probably remote, that the district may need to do something other than just at the level of a warning or a PAI. Okay, so that's the change we have there. The next change that we have here was really in I. The district is accepting of a lot of the language you have there. We think by and large, you'll see this is really your language. But what we did is we provided some cleanup piece into it. So really, if you do a comparison, and you can do, I won't walk through it word by word, but if you really talk about in directed goals, and some of the language you also probably included some carryover language with performance and directed goals. Well, really, we just feel directed goals should be enough of them. You know, that language would be enough.
Yeah, it's
okay?
like growth plan a couple times.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
thought just making the language match, throughout the paragraph was.
Yep. And we wanted to make sure too that at the level of the district assistance and support piece, that any of that work must also run through the supervising evaluator. Okay. So really, it's just kind of some wordsmithing in there.
Yeah, not major changes.
Okay. Any questions on that one?
Nope.
Okay. Moving right along. Work year and work day. Okay, this one, again, there are some of the areas in this proposal that we are in agreement on. There are some additions we've made which are primarily to make sure, again, that we're good and square with what may be the law or changes, whether it's governor's executive order or whatnot. So I'll start with the school calendar. So much of the language there, it matches what your proposal is, except for we want to make sure there's an exception for changes that might be expressly authorized under the Emergency School Closures, Article 13, or to comply with additional requirements by the Oregon Department of Ed pertaining to student instructional minutes or other Division 22 requirements. If additional instructional days are necessary to satisfy amended requirements from the Department of Ed, the district will compensate educators at the per diem rate for each additional full day added to the contract year. Okay? So basically, that language is really just to account for what could be legal or administrative regulation changes.
Especially if we do a multi-year contract with you guys, they keep talking, the 180 keeps coming up, 180, 180, 180, and we're like 171, I think.
Yeah.
For student contact days, and so if for some reason they brought us to 180 in the middle of a year or some crazy thing, then we'd want to be able to adjust somehow.
Okay.
And I can't imagine what that would look like. That would be a hot mess.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've told them that, but they're still, the rules are still being created as we speak, so.
Yep. Well, and to think about what kind of funding mechanism would they even think about trying to have to support districts
Oh, yeah,
all over the state in doing that?
Yeah.
That's millions of dollars.
That's
We
why it
told
might
them
not
that.
happen right
Yeah.
away, is
Yeah.
because they have to realize every district will I think they said already at least 50, 60% of the districts right off the bat would have to be adding at least 2 or 3 days. I don't know whether they're going to get the money to afford all that, so.
Yeah, 95 districts are out of compliance right
Yes.
now, they say.
Yep.
95 out
Yep.
of 197, so we're lucky we're not, but,
Yep.
95 are out of compliance based on the current rules or what they're proposing?
based on the executive order.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
so
what
not even
happens
the
is-
extra part, but just
Yeah.
on the
Got it.
Governor Kotek's order, there's like half of the districts already out.
Yep, they're already out of whack.
Yep.
And a lot of it's furlough days, so they use furlough days, to balance their budgets. And so you can't use those any longer, and so they're having to, like Portland Public's having to add furlough days back in. Anyone that used furlough to get the budget in line, they're not be able to use those, so
Yep.
they're having to, reinstate those, and they have to make a plan, so.
Okay, so in B, B talks specifically about the number of contract days and holidays. There, we also wanted to make sure that we added the exception is provided in Article 12A1, so the language I just mentioned, or Article 13. So again, this is really just this whole page 1 is really just to clear up what may be some changes that will be beyond the control of either the district itself or the union, right? We wouldn't have control over that part. We go on to, again, a lot of the language you had was acceptable to us. On 3, we are okay with the language on the directed work days. On 4, this is an area where we had a question about the early release day. Some of that language we moved out of there because we believe what we've already talked about is sufficient, but we did add in prep time on early release days may happen outside of student contact time, due to schedule constraints that are necessary to accommodate early release. So there has been some confusion and some challenges in the past where the prep time needs, because of a school that had an early release, had difficulty on a particular day meeting the specific minimum threshold of prep time, even though they had met the time across the entirety of the week. I know, Emily, we talked about this on a few occasions with it, so.
Yeah, and that was because you were split? Was it because of the split, or was it just in
No,
general?
it was because of our PE time.
There were
We didn't have enough
some-
PE
Yeah,
hours.
and we are talking with Mr. Palmer about trying to get extra PE for Butte Creek, but we're gonna have to, assess every single building that's a K-8, because they're all interconnected, and I just, that's just a complicated problem.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. So then, moving on to C on the teacher's workday, we are okay with the first part about responsibilities beyond the workday, fulfilling professional obligations. We are also okay with the start of the in-service week language, which is really about not receiving more than 30 days of notice when there's a change, except for within circumstances beyond the administrator's control. By the third week of September, the district will provide the FEA president with a list of the events with dates for each building. With that understanding, though, we did not include your language on the new evening events because we believe that there's that language already there, which allows that 30 days notice. Okay, continuing on with that article. Again, the next several are just changes from teachers to educators. Our next significant change is on item 6, which is beginning of the year in-service meetings. What we want to propose, your original was to have 30% time allotted for administrative required trainings. We want to maintain the 40. And we want to clarify, depending on when the number of in-service days there are actually in the week. So if 40% of the in-service days, when there are 4 days during the in-service week, 32% of the in-service days when there are 5 days during in-service week.
It's 12.8 hours, so
Yeah.
that, those two numbers are the same, 40 and 32%. So one is a 4-day and one is a 5. So when you add that extra day, it stretches it out a little bit.
Okay. Thank you. And then, again, the next piece is we agree with your language on, which is HE, which is itinerant employees. I do want to mention to the group, so we make sure we have an understanding and it's on the record, that in the last year, we didn't really, or I, in my time at the district, didn't necessarily see a concern with us how we defined itinerant employees. Because you'll notice in the contract, it's not necessarily fully defined specifically.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in the contract, we've kind of had an understanding that kind of fit. But one of the things to think about is there are some positions that some may think are itinerant, but really necessarily aren't. Okay, so that could include LRC and counselors, which I think we would think that's not itinerant, right? But I think we want to make sure we understand on the record that there are some limits to itinerant.
And we did add at the end of that sentence during building assignment hours. So like, for instance, if you were John Harrington and you were at Robert Frost, you could be assigned some duty while you're there. But if you're not there, it doesn't make sense to assign you a duty, So I
Yeah.
think that was some of the feedback you guys gave us, is that they were being assigned duties when they weren't actually physically present in the building. And so we added that during building assignment hours.
Okay. Advanced placement credit. You had language which was at least one advanced placement credit will receive a full day substitute teacher on 3 occasions per school year. We understand that there are advanced placement situations where there really should be an extra opportunity for some work. But we believe that there are several of our advanced placement classes which are not heavily enrolled, which might not warrant having that extra time. So what we're saying is that if the educator has at least one advanced placement class with at least 25 students in the class, then that language will kick in. Okay.
And we backed out your language on number 1 with the addition of the social studies.
Yes, okay, I'm sorry, thank
That's
you.
okay.
Yeah, so you had both social studies and English language arts. We're referring back to the language of just English language arts. Okay. Okay, moving forward to JC, which is the alternative release days provided under the article. Yours, pretty much here, what here is good. I think what we see is, I'm trying to remember what we specifically had on JC.
We just updated the number of days.
Yeah, it was numbered, we just did the number of days.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So from where you had 4 work days, we're at the 3 and 2, okay?
Yeah, we just backed it down.
We backed yours
right?
off. Yours were 4 and 3, ours are
Yeah.
3, or 4 and 4, ours are 3 and 2. Okay. Questions on that article? We're just running through these.
How many, for advanced placement for 25 students in each class, how many teachers don't have 25 students in at least one AP class?
There were multiples, I mean, Joe could probably speak more to that, about how many sections. There were a lot of sections that are over 25, and there's some that are under. It kind of depends on the language. Those tended to be over 25, but you
Yeah,
wanna
they
speak
typically
on it?
start at 25 or more.
Yeah.
And then they'll drop as kids decide to not take that class. So if we retain students in those classes, it should kick in.
Okay.
Yeah. Some traditionally, if they're lower and not reaching 25, then that would be predictable. But for the most part, we'll always want to try to have a class run at 25 or more.
Yeah, that would be an ideal section for an AP class.
So, but how many teachers just teach one AP class though that
Oh,
wouldn't hit
one.
25?
Just like a
Like,
singleton.
yeah, like are we talking about one teacher that wouldn't then get this, or if you're teaching an AP class, you're already teaching multiple?
We'd have to look at the sequence.
As I read it, it's
Okay.
25 per class. So eight
Yeah, but
class.
she's wondering if you have like one teacher that teaches one section of AP Chem and then they don't meet it, are they the only person left out? Is
Yeah.
that what you're getting
Yeah.
at?
Oh, okay.
Can we go look at the seat counts?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
I have them on my computer.
Okay.
Joe, I know Joe has them.
Okay. All right.
Our thought by adding the 25 is that that's a big class,
Yeah.
you know, and it's got a lot of load to it when you're trying to grade all those papers.
Yeah,
so.
I just don't want one teacher to not then get it.
Yeah,
if-
you gotta, right.
Yeah.
We'll see what we got.
Yeah.
And highly likely, if they were to request it, I would grant them it too.
You may not always be here though.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, the nice people are here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old regime.
Yeah. BAT.
Any other questions on that article? Okay. Next, Article 18, vacancies and transfers. Okay, this language, we pretty much are in agreement with you. The big difference that we add to this is that in vacancies, for the application process to a vacancy, we wanted to make sure that if an educator is going to avail themselves of that opportunity, that the cover letter needs to be submitted via the electronic HR system. We've had in the past sometimes where people will just email something, or
Yeah.
maybe give a hard copy, and then we get an emergency gets an email a week later. Hey, I applied for this and I sent you an email on it. Having it in one place, now that we're trying to really use the system, so.
Vicki and I, today we analyzed all the applicants for the assistant principal job at the middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a couple internal applicants. I'm like, oh, that one's internal, that one's internal. If those hadn't been in there, if they had just been on Marissa's email, if
Yeah.
Marissa was gone or something, it just makes sense to put them in the system.
Oh, yeah, we just left it generic because we didn't want to call out a system that then changed. And,
Yeah,
Oh,
totally,
okay,
whatever.
exactly.
So, yeah, totally
Okay,
get that.
perfect.
Makes sense.
Okay. The remainder of Article 18 is pretty much the changes from teacher to educator. And then, yeah, we're also to note that you had proposed for the additional support, the move to, from 450 to 750, and our counter includes that. Okay. Questions on that article?
Nope.
Okay. And our last one for right now, Article 19, class size. Okay, this one, there are some changes to it. We prefer to stick with a lot of what the original language is in class size that we have currently. However, there's one thing we wanted to do is we want to increase the pool, the pot, from right now it's at 30,000, and we want to increase it up to 50,000. So we believe that, along with the current language, would address the concerns as we see them. So that's different from what you had in your proposal. On item 2, which was the appeals, we are okay with that. They must be sent in by the last Friday in February. The appeal must be in writing to HR, and the committee will meet once a year in March to review the appeals with educators and determine which educators qualify for the stipend, which will be paid in the next payroll period. Now, you had in your proposal removed 3 because you hadn't had a limit on the cap. Because we are increasing the cap, we added back in the language of 3. And that's not bolded because it's a language in the current agreement.
Marissa, did we spend that whole amount this year?
No, not quite. The last time that I had looked at it, it was about a little over 23,000, but then I got, I think, 1 to 3 additional stipend requests. We haven't exhausted it yet that I am aware of, so.
Thank you.
Okay. Questions on that article?
Nope, Marissa just answered my question.
I figured you would have that question.
Do you guys have any?
We have 16 for you, to
Okay.
leave with pay. It's just a teeny tiny.
Just a little baby.
Yep.
Got my favorite skirt on. You're so creative. I think it's just one.
Yeah, it's the only one we had. We gave you all of ours. So everything is the same from your proposal that you gave us on whenever this was, May something. The only thing we added was under B, we added a number 3 on the backside of the first page to account for if someone is laid off and recalled, that they get their accrued personal time back, but that they don't get benefits for the period of layoff. It's the same exact language in the layoff and recall article, we just changed.
Hopefully we don't have to lay
Sick
people
leave to
off
personal
again.
leave, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the
Question.
goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Typically, I'm pretty sure the process is treated similarly to how we handle like system terminations, so they're paid out their personal leave.
but with the new proposed language of them rolling over,
Uh-huh.
then they would, if they're accrued then we want to make sure that they get them back if they don't choose to pay them out at the
Okay.
time.
So if they didn't take the payoff.
Yeah,
then-
and
okay.
if they chose to roll their days over and they got laid off and then recalled, then
Gotcha.
they would get those accrued days back
Got it.
still.
Oh.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it. That
took
makes
a
sense.
second.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
so,
got it.
that was it.
Wow. Okay.
That was it?
That was it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We're good with him.
All right. So we'll review your Article 16 counter, and we're going to work on the compensation and insurance.
Okay.
That shouldn't take us too long. We know you actually have now more to look at.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you got the big
how long would you like?
Hour.
Check in at 40.
Okay.
40 minutes,
Yeah,
and
just
then
let
go
us know.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't want to say an hour and a half and then we don't need it. I'd rather say 40
Yeah.
than say we need
Okay.
it.
Okay, yeah, just
Okay.
text us if you need more time.
Will do.
No numbers. But we did agree with the Battle of the Books coordinators at both the district and site level. We're also adding the auditorium, or also the prom coordinator we're okay with. We're also adding the auditorium manager position, though. And that, we believe, is probably at level 3 is an appropriate amount there. So we're adding that one.
And we did that based on teacher feedback, so feedback from Eric Nelson and Kim Scondon, who frequently get pulled into the auditorium. Can you help me with this? So that we really have someone that has the knowledge and understands the system and is, designed to take care of those things during those events, and so that they don't rely on our teachers' kind heart to, fix those things. And training that person would be, a top priority in the fall.
Okay, so those are the proposals we have for you this afternoon. Any questions we can answer for you?
Don't believe I do.
What are you looking for?
I thought I had jotted down a question somewhere, but
Oh,
maybe I made that up. Does anyone else on the team have any questions? No? Okay. Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. All righty. So I think we'll make sure we get you a chance to sign it. We'll make sure copies are done for that one. Any other questions or items for the good of the group? I think we need to set another
Yeah.
date, though, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but with 2 of our people missing, I'm not sure if we can do that today.
Gonna try and do it by email instead?
Yeah.
Okay.
do that.
I will share that for me, though. I am going to be, it doesn't mean, I can still join if we do it virtually, but I will be with, down helping to take care of my younger brother still has issues down in California.
Sorry, Tony.
Well, he was put him back in the hospital because he had 911 come to my other brother's place about a month ago, and now they actually had to find a place. He can't come home anymore, so I'm going to go down there. I'm going to be gone from the 1st through the 11th. Okay, but I'm going there because he needs somebody there, but I'll still be working, so I could join virtually. So don't let it get in the way. Just know that I won't be here personally.
I would prefer to wait till August to have July off. I've got
It's up to you
several-
guys.
If that's okay with everybody, and look at August dates going forward. Is that fine? Got that.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gone a little bit in July too.
Yeah.
I love that.
I promised to put them in my calendar this time.
Yeah, I'm thinking with the progress we make, I know that we still have some conversation on the salary numbers and
Yeah.
that, but I'm still very optimistic that I think we're making good progress.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get to ultimately where we need to be. So if we want to look at some dates in August, if we're looking at August, I don't know that we need to solidify them today
Yeah.
here, but
No,
you
that's
guys can
pretty
work on
far.
it.
Yeah.
I'll send Marissa, I'll send you my availability in the remainder of the summer, and then we'll get that out to everybody.
We use a doodle poll to figure out our availability.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, it's a lot smarter.
Does one of my teams want to give up their number 8 so we can go ahead and I can get, okay. So we'll go ahead and sign that one.
Makes your dog so happy you're home right now. Oh, yeah. Is that at Seaside again? Oh, yeah, there's.
Saturday in June.
Does your Morgan get to run loose?
We have a 50-foot long.
Yeah, that's how mine would have to be too. Yeah, he'd be like,
But we did find that there's a sniff spot, 9 miles from us.
Sniff spots are important.
Yeah, it's like a whole fenced acre.
oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. The sniff spot, that's funny.
All right.
Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you all. Since I won't see you guys until August again, please have an enjoyable summer. Take care of yourselves, be safe, and hopefully we'll all stay cool.
Yeah.
Ken, do we need to
Thank
chat
you all.
about what you called me about?
I think we fixed it with 8.
Okay.
I just didn't want that to, I just wanted to be able to chime in on that. I'm
Okay.
like, wait, I don't get to chime in on this. And then I thought, oh, we could just fix it with 8.
Okay.
And so,
I
yeah.
thought that
Yeah.
might have been it.
Yeah.
And if for some reason, okay, because we mentioned on Article 16, there was only just that one clarification.
Yeah.
If for some reason your group was okay with that, you could just always let Kim and I know, and then we'll,
Okay. Yeah,
so that way we don't, if it doesn't have to carry over, we don't have to carry it over, okay?
Sounds good to me.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you.